Oh,
Because my other glass is being fixed, I have to change the power.
I had those on, yes, the white ones. Are you ready?
Okay, Ms. Matias, we are live, we are streaming, we are recording. You may proceed with the public executive review session.
Good morning. This is the New York City Board of Standards and Appeals Public Review Session for Monday, May 5th, 2025. Please note for the record, Commissioner Shedder is joining us remotely. The first items up are adjournments. 2023-11BZ, 1008 Banner Avenue, Brooklyn. 2024-34BZ, 815 Kings Highway, Brooklyn. And 2024-47A, 2315B, DeMeyer Street, Bronx.
I want to say something. The property owner of 2013-15B DeMar has retained counsel very recently. And the property owner's counsel has requested an adjournment to review the record. Please note that the applicant has made no submission to DOB, which is what we had directed the applicant to do. And DOB, in response to applicants, the property owner's request to adjourn, has accepted it. But in the statement, DOB also, what DOB has stated, I agree with. And it is the property owner of 23-115B DeMeyer responsibility to submit revised plan that will cure the issues, and thereby then only DOB can take the next step. This is an application that's been submitted by DOB. The case will be scheduled for a mid-June hearing, and no further delays will be considered. If no submission has been made by the property owner of 2315B DeMeyer Street by that for the hearing date, then the board will close and schedule it for decision.
Postponements, 2022-43A, 638 East 11th Street, Manhattan.
Okay, we have not received a submission for the Appendix G waiver. As you know, in May of last year, board had denied the applicant's accompanying appeal case, BSA calendar number 2022-44A, regarding DOB's determination from June 13, 2022, that denied an application to permit dry flood proving of the residential unit first floor for a proposed mixed-use building. The subject application was on hold until board had made its determination in that appeal case. Now, since May of 2024, 2 postponements were granted. Today will be the third and final one. At the next scheduled hearing, if a submission is not received, board will dismiss the case. A certified dismissal warning letter should be sent to the owner.
Thank you, Chair. You read my mind. Actually, this submission that I was waiting for since May last year, it should be simple as maximum. It can take like a month to prepare, and since it wasn't submitted for almost a year now, yes, we should be doing what you indicated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, decision items, 374-71BZ, 20511 Northern Boulevard, Queens.
This is for a 10-year extension of term. I'm just kind of going through my notes, sorry. Board received a letter from the Auburndale Civic Association expressing concern about the expanded business operations impact on local parking demand and parking on sidewalks. I again want to thank Auburndale Civic Association being vigilant and bringing the concerns. But as I had stated at the earlier hearing, a portion of the site that is located in the R32 still remains in the BSA jurisdiction. So what I'm proposing is a motion to approve a 10-year extension of term from the date of the grant with the following conditions. And the conditions are Landscaping, fencing, and 100% opaque acoustic fencing along the residential lot line shall be maintained in accordance with the board-approved plan. There shall be daily cleaning of debris in and around the property. The site shall be maintained free of graffiti at all times. Trash shall be stored exclusively in the dumpster area shown on the board-approved plan. Dumpsters shall be emptied 3 times per week. Landscape planning shall be replaced and trimmed as necessary to maintain a good screen of at least 6 foot in height. The gate to the parking area shall be locked except during business hours. 16 parking spaces accessed by Clearview Expressway shall be permitted to employee and visitor parking only. Hours of operation for the parking area shall be limited to 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mondays through Thursday, Friday and Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., and Sunday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. It was the operational hour limit that was placed on the auto sale and was also applicable to the accessory parking space. Since the applicant has not asked for any amendment to the hours of operation, the stated hour from the prior grant remains. So what I just stated is what was in the prior grant. There shall be no storage of cars for sale or repair on the site. Vehicles preparation prior to sale shall occur off-site. Cars shall be available for pickup by purchasers of no more than 7 hours. So you have 7 hours to pick up. It's not an overnight storage area. No overnight car storage shall be permitted. A site manager shall be designated to police the site and ensure compliance with the board's conditions and safeguards. The hours of operations and telephone numbers of the site manager shall be posted conspicuously for neighbors to see and notify the site manager of any complaints. Bollards shall be stationary at all times except to remove or install cars. No business shall be conducted on the sidewalk. No illegal parking shall be permitted on the sidewalks. No test drives shall be permitted on residential side streets. Board is not waiving zoning regulations related to bulk parking density applicable to the zoning law. DOB shall confirm compliance. Those are my comments. Are there any additional comments or suggestions? Okay, thank you.
So motion to approve, Chair Shanda,
Aye.
Vice Chair Shabeta,
Aye.
Commissioner Otley Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Sheta,
Aye.
Commissioner Yoon.
Aye.
Application has been approved. Item number 6, 2693BZ, 880 Coney Island Avenue, Brooklyn.
This is a reinstatement of a previously approved variance. Applicant has provided clarification to the operating hours for the drive-through, delivery and trash pickups, and also regarding rodent control protocol on the site. Commissioners, were you all satisfied with the submission that was made? Okay.
I'm sorry, we can't hear anything on the recording.
My mic was off, forgive me. I saw the time of pickup and drop off for the trash pickup. I believe that 5 a.m. Was a bit early, but I can understand with the commercial constrictions. So it's not a sticking point for me.
The same with Commissioner Otley Brown. We cannot hear you on the recording.
No, it's not.
Maybe you want to pull it closer?
How's that? I think it was deliveries that were 5 a.m. to 12 a.m.
That's
But
right.
I think they made a mistake, and I think they meant 5 a.m. to noon. I didn't think they would be accepting deliveries at midnight.
Oh, that we need to figure out. To me,
Yeah, it's deliveries and trash pickup take place between 5 a.m.
no.
I
The
have trash and recycling 8 a.m. to 8.
Yeah, trash pickup is Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And delivery hours are 5 a.m. to 12 a.m. That's what I have it.
Right, that's what I have, but I think that was an error. I
Well, they-
can't imagine they're getting deliveries at midnight. Yeah.
Is that for delivery of food? to
Yeah,
the
it's like food
Yeah.
product.
Oh, you
No,
mean
no, it's like,
receiving-
yeah, receiving the
receiving
big trucks.
I,
I took it to mean other way, but I mean,
well,
I guess we're confused.
well, I would say for me, I was, the frontage of the site is in a commercial, it's in a zoning district where the use is permitted as of right. It's only the portion in the rear for which, where the drive-through is, where the variance is being sought. So,
Do you want a
But the
second call as a
deliveries,
check?
yeah, maybe we could just ask and then
Yeah.
vote, because the
Second call.
deliveries
Let's second call.
generally happen on site, not in front.
Let me
They
email.
actually move these trucks in and they have these like
Elise.
conveyor belts and literally McDonald's deliveries are like major.
Right.
okay,
I want to say that in the cover letter, it states that, it does state that they generally finish before midnight, trash, recycle and deliveries. And on page 5, and I'm reading, quoting from the cover letter, the statement of facts has been revised to state that trash and recycling collection generally happen on Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday between 8 and 8 p.m.
mhm,
And then it says, attached, we find a letter from the operator that they're requesting that all deliveries and trash pickup take place between 5 a.m. and 12 a.m. Now, that just might be a mistake they have in their cover letter, and that just needs to be
5 to
addressed.
12.
okay,
Okay, so do you want to, all
okay. So need the clarification on the delivery hours.
right, what are the hours of food delivery and trash pickup?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Just sent her an email.
One thing I did want to add is they did update the section with the ABC showing the different decibel levels and how the noise dissipates across this specific site. And it was to scale, and I appreciate it. And I think that should be the standard going forward for any AVC projects with drive-through sections.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so we will second call this.
Item number 7, 11594 BZ, to 2470 Bedford Avenue, Brooklyn.
Okay. In its submission, applicant has clarified that hours of operations will be from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday to allow additional time for tenants to open the shop and to clean up. Current hours of operation is from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. So first of all, I want to we didn't have a discussion on this. I was looking through my note unless there was, but I didn't see anything on my note on that. So is board okay with that? The extending the hour by 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the evening? Yeah, commissioner is okay with that? Okay.
Sorry,
Sorry, Commissioner Shetta, do you want to say anything?
I
If you
was
did,
coughing and I said sorry. I'm okay with it.
okay.
This doesn't help me, Elise. Oh, sorry.
Um,
Where'd it go?
okay, all right. So applicant has provided videos of the interior site condition. It is really well kept, so I appreciate them being very careful about that and making sure that their material parts are not crowding the sidewalk. It's all
Practical, yeah.
contained within the site. And also a video of the exterior site operation condition. And from the video that was provided, it seems there are other users that are also that are parking on the sidewalk. And so it's kind of unfortunate that you have neighbors with similar use and it's very difficult to distinguish one from the other. So based on what has been submitted and what we have evidence, I'm going to make a recommendation and I want to hear your thoughts on it, that we grant a 10-year extension of time to obtain a certificate of occupancy with the following conditions. That certificate of occupancy shall be obtained within 18 months and that the applicant continues to work with Parks Department for street tree planting. and that no parking shall be permitted on the sidewalk and no repair work shall be conducted outdoors, including on the street or sidewalk. And the owner and operator shall continue to monitor the site to ensure that the business operation on the subject site is not affecting pedestrian and traffic flow. Is everybody okay with that? I just want to say this is not a condition, but this is just a recommendation. I would strongly urge the applicant to work closely with the community board and the precinct and continue to monitor the business operation around you. It is in their best interest and the community's interest also. Motion to approve.
I'm sorry. Motion to approve, Chair Shonda,
Aye.
Vice Chair Shabeta,
Aye.
Commissioner Otley Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Sheta,
Aye.
Commissioner Yoon.
Aye.
Granting 11594BZ.
Thank you.
Item number 8, 21506BZ, 202 Hillside, 202-606 Hillside Avenue, Queens.
This is for an extension of time. Applicant submitted photos of the improved landscaping and also provided revised statement of facts and other documents, and specifically a compliance chart, timeline to obtain the certificate of occupancy. The applicant said they need 18 months. So I was satisfied with the submission. Is everybody okay?
Yeah.
Then make a motion for an 18-month extension of time to obtain certificate of occupancy.
Motion to approve, Chair Shonda,
Aye.
Vice Chair Shabeta,
Aye.
Commissioner Otley Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Sheta,
Aye.
Commissioner Yoon.
Aye.
Application has been granted. Item number 9, 16008BZ, 671 Fountain Avenue, Brooklyn.
Finally, I think we can say we have reached a point where we think and we hope sincerely the site functions the way we all collectively envisioned and laid out all the recommendations and ground rules and the plans accordingly. And I have to thank the applicant, them being cooperative and working with us, and their prospective new owner, operator of the site. So we have received the revised tech memo and also a draft restrictive deck. Has everybody had a chance to look at the draft restrictive deck? Okay. I want to thank our council and our project manager, because this has not been an easy project, as we know. And a lot of people from our end has been involved in shaping it, and I want to thank my team for doing that.
You're welcome.
So I want to make a motion to approve, and please bear with me. It's a pretty lengthy set of conditions. So I make a motion to approve the proposed amendment to use variance with I think last time we agreed to an extension of term for 5 years. Is everybody still holding to that? Okay. So extension of term for 5 years and to obtain a certificate of occupancy within 18 months with the following conditions. That the hours of operation for the commercial vehicle storage use are Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 7:15 p.m. and Saturdays to Sunday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And for the repair facility, the hours are limited to Mondays through Friday, 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. No more than 48 tractor-trailer trucks and 31 passenger vehicles will be permitted on the property at any given time. Daily truck trips into the property shall be limited to 48, and daily truck trips out of the property shall be limited to 48, for a total of 96 daily truck trips. Any vehicular maintenance or repair conducted on the property shall be limited to hand tools and shall be conducted only within the existing one-story structure on the property. No repair or storage of parts shall be permitted outside of the said structure. Any plans submitted to DOB for construction of the acoustic wall on the property shall be subject to DOB review for structural safety and compliance with all applicable laws and regulations. Such plans and any applications including such plans shall not be professionally certified. prior to applying to the New York City Buildings Department for a TCO, declarant shall have constructed all the required improvements, including landscaping, fencing, and acoustical walls, and erected all signages required by BSA. The required improvements shall be maintained in good and working order so long as the project remains in operation. Any lease of the property shall include an obligation that tenants comply with paragraphs 1A through E of the restrictive declaration. No portion of the property shall be operated pursuant to the approval and resolution unless and until DOB has issued a TCO for that operation of the property. A change in owner, operator, or tenant of the property shall require prior approval of the BSA. Such BSA approval shall be in the form of a letter of no objection or letter of substantial compliance, so long as operation of the property would continue in compliance with the resolution of the restrictive deck. And the certificate of occupancy shall be obtained within 18 months from the date of the grant, and the resolution will not be issued until the restrictive deck has been recorded.
For the motion to,
Yeah, everything, General Counsel, good to go? Okay, yes,
the motion to grant, Chair Shanda,
aye.
Vice Chair Shabeta,
Aye.
Commissioner Otley Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Sheta,
Aye.
Commissioner Yoon.
Aye.
Application has been granted. Item number 10, 2023-41A through 46A,
Second call,
second call. Item number 11, 2024-17A, 35 Marjorie Street.
also second call.
Item number 12, 2019-256BZ, 1508 Avenue Z, Brooklyn.
We're almost there, second call.
Are these second calls for tomorrow or
Yeah,
for?
tomorrow.
Item number 13, 2023-58BZ, 19718 Hillside Avenue, Queens.
Also second call.
And item number 14, 2024-53BZ, 8903 57th Avenue, Queens.
Okay. Okay, all right. So applicant did revise its submission and provided photos. All the other documents have been revised and responded to the findings. Note has been added regarding the AVC being kept active all times, and signage has been added on the plan, and also stop signs have been installed, including a stop bar along Queens Boulevard. So I was satisfied with the submission. Commissioners, were you all? Okay, everybody's shaking in agreement. So then I make a motion to approve a 10-year term for the drive-through with additional conditions that AVC shall be kept active at all times, and all site lighting shall be directed down and away from abutting residential buildings, and signage shall comply with the applicable zoning regulations and approved by DOB.
Chair Shanda,
Aye.
Vice Chair Shabeta,
Aye.
Commissioner Otley Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Sheta,
Aye.
Commissioner Yoon.
Aye.
Application is granted. Do you want to do the Coney Island or you leave it for tomorrow? Because I have the answer. It's 5 a.m. to 12 a.m.
5 a.m. to 12 a.m.
Right, Chase?
For,
for
For
delivery.
deliveries.
Commissioners, are you okay with that?
to your point that this is the portion that is commercial, and that this has been ongoing, I don't have any comment.
Do you have anyone else?
Is it possible for us to condition that those deliveries happen in the commercial portion of the lot, if possible? My concern is that having seen deliveries of fast food, the trucks are large, they go towards the back so that they can get into the kitchen area, and it's a major operation of boxes and boxes of refrigerated goods getting, entered into the kitchen by conveyor belt. And it could be disruptive if it's by the homes,
Okay.
if possible.
I think the only homes that we are concerned about, I would say, is the multifamily home that is
That's right
abutting
next to.
it, which a good part of it is already fronting in the C8 portion. And so only what we are preventing is that portion that's in the rear. So we can put that as a condition, but
Even if we put that as a condition, we're gonna limit the delivery to the commercial portion, but we cannot limit the noise to travel to surrounding portions around the site. So I'm not sure if conditioning this to limit the deliveries to the commercial portion of the site is gonna help avoid the issue, if any. So I would probably make a condition or make it clear that if complaints arises from adjacent residences, then we can reevaluate. Meaning that, yes, go ahead with the 12, but if something arises, then we have the right to bring him back and like set back the deliveries to where it was before.
Well, we are not quite sure how it was before, because it wasn't talked about.
I think the prior, let me look at the.
Maybe a condition that they should make
26.
every effort to minimize disruption to the neighbors, which just highlights that we think this could be an issue, but also acknowledges that a business has to operate.
Yeah, something of that sort that indicate that we're granting this, but we do have some concern. If issues arises, then we can bring him back.
That the applicant will make every effort to minimize disturbance to the neighbors.
To ensure that delivery and pickup will not become a nuisance to the neighbors.
Right.
Conditions that the applicant will make every effort to minimize disturbance to the residential neighbor. Is that okay or no?
Yes,
That's good.
Yeah.
and restricting the pickup and delivery to the commercial portion of the lot. To the extent feasible.
Sorry.
I would make the language applicant shall. That's like, it's more obligations on the applicant side.
Commissioner Sheta, we were talking and can you repeat what you're saying? Then we will.
Yes,
go
I
ahead.
said just changing will to shall. So applicant shall make it's like a direction from us, and he's obligated to do that.
And what were you saying, Commissioner Otley Brown?
Oh, I was just saying that trash pickup most likely is going to happen in the rear, because that's where the dumpster is now, it's in
Right.
the rear,
Yeah.
in the rear corner.
All right.
All right, so the motion to approve?
So the applicant is seeking a 20 years extension of time. Is everybody okay with that too? Okay, so this is to grant a 20 years extension of time from today, from the date of the grant. The hours of operation for the drive-through shall be limited to 7 a.m. to 12 a.m., 7 days of the week, and parking lot will be chained after 12 midnight. And the additional condition that the applicant will make every effort to minimize disturbance to the residential neighborhood and will restrict delivery in the commercial portion to the extent possible. Did I frame it correctly? All right.
Okay, to approve 2693 BZ, Chair Shonda,
Aye.
Vice Chair Shabeta,
Aye.
Commissioner Otley Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Sheta,
Aye.
Commissioner Yoon.
Aye.
Application's been granted. Okay, sorry. Continued hearing items on the SOC calendar. 54869 BZ. Oh, I'm sorry, 107-10 Astoria Boulevard, Queens. Thank you, sir.
Applicant has made its submission in response to the comments that were raised. As I meant, this is an extension of time. So the applicant further clarified that the existing convenience store has not been enlarged and a new CO was not obtained. So, and in its submission, applicant also clarified the reason for the delay. Regardless of the of enlarging the existing building, a new CO is required, and the applicant is requesting an extension of time to obtain a CO for the existing operation. So, and therefore requires an 18 months to extend the CO. Also, there are no violations. Photos have been provided of the repaired fence, and the parking spaces have been striped, and the height of the light pole has been reduced to 12 feet as evidence from the photos that were provided. So I was very satisfied with the response that the applicant provided. Any questions, comments? Vice Chair Shibata.
No comment.
Thank you. Commissioner Otley Brown.
No comment, I'm satisfied.
Okay. Commissioner Sheta.
Sorry, I was muted, sorry. Same here.
Commissioner Yoon.
Yeah, no comments.
Okay.
Item, new cases, item number 16, 2018-172 BZ, 46-09, 4619 31st Avenue, Queens.
This is an extension of time. A proof of initial filing and hearing is not required, though we did receive a letter of support from the community board. This is an application, as I said, for an extension of time to construct and obtain a certificate of occupancy for a previously approved variance for a 21-unit permanent supportive housing at the subject site. And the variance expired in February of 2025. So the applicant cited its reason for the delay, and understandably, it's related to the pandemic and the financial difficulty. And the applicant has indicated that they have been able to raise financial support and have entered into a project agreement to build this project, and HPD Supportive Housing Division is also working with them in closing the, in providing the gap financing, and aim to close this project in December of 2025. So that's great news. This would be another project that a BSA had approved to allow permanent affordable housing to get built. So now, in its statement, applicant also mentioned the application of ZHO reduces some of the waivers and makes some of the waivers that were granted moot. However, I don't think the extension of time application is the format in which that can be extended. So the applicant needs to look through the ZHO regulations thoroughly and identify each and every actions, each and every sections, and see which ones would make the prior grant conditions moot. And are there any new ones that may get triggered? I doubt it, but that needs to be clearly analyzed, because otherwise it would be a shame if it goes to DOB and DOB identifies certain zoning resolution sections that were not considered before or got triggered. So I think it would be best for the applicant to just go through a thorough zoning scrubbing and identify which sections of the prior grant would be moved under ZHO. The applicant is requesting a 4 years time to complete construction and obtaining a CO. There is a stop work order in the rectory building though. And the rectory building is going to be demolished. So a demolition plan will be submitted, and that will address the issue for which the violation was granted. I really don't have any other concerns. I would I'm satisfied with the submission. Vice Chair Shibata,
Thank you, Chair. I'm satisfied with this application as well.
thank you. Commissioner Otley Brown,
I'm also satisfied.
thank you. Commissioner Sheta,
I'm satisfied with the application, but I couldn't see a timeline submitted. I'm not sure if I'm the only one who didn't see it.
they provide,
They provided a timeline of when they expected certain approvals to be granted and
Right.
construction completed. Albeit I think that timeline is very hopeful. Yeah, they did provide it.
Is it the same as part of the statement of facts or a separate timeline? That's
It
what
was-
I'm talking about, the separate one.
it was part of the same submission package. I
No,
saw it.
I'm saying, did they mention the timeline in the statement of facts or
They did.
was it
They-
a separate document?
It's in the,
In the statement of fact, sorry, Jella, you have your hand up.
It's also in the response to notice of comment letter.
Okay. Thank you.
I saw it in the statement of facts also in that it says it would take 6 to 9 months for DOB sign off and after December 2025, which is after the HPD financial closing, is when the construction will begin. And that is pretty consistent because by the time HPD closes on an application, the applicant should have had all DOB permits in place in order for them to break ground, start construction once the closing has happened. So there is no time loss from the time of the closing to the start of construction. So I think based on that, the timeline that they provided is pretty reasonable. Yeah. Yeah, that's the July 25 to October 25 DOB application approval and permit, September 25 general contractor hired, October 2025 HPD closing, November 2025 demolition of the existing building, December 25 to 27 is the construction.
Yeah, what I was talking about is, I believe we've discussed this before and during one of the hearings that we need to standardize that timetables or that with a breakdown of the construction at least, but that's fine for me for now. Thank you.
Okay. We can discuss that.
Yep.
Okay. Commissioner Yoon?
I have no comments. I'm satisfied.
Okay. Thank you.
Item number 17, 2019 7-7BZ, Volume 2, 3341 Country Club Road, the
Okay.
Bronx.
This is an extension of time, a proof of initial filing, and hearing notice for extension time is not required. The applicant is requesting an extension of time to complete construction and obtain a certificate of occupancy for a previously approved special permit for a sailing and rowing club for Fordham University, which expired on May 4th, 2025, which would be day before yesterday almost. So the reason for delay was the lengthy process in obtaining all the state and federal approvals, Army Corps, and the fundraising also took some time. So as per the status, DOB permit is underway for the renovation of the existing building, and all the state and federal approvals have been secured, and the peer work is proceeding according to the approvals. And the applicant is stating that based on the timeline, it would need 4 years to complete construction and obtain a CO. I have no further questions. I'm satisfied with the submission. Vice Chair Shibata.
Thank you, Chair. I'm also satisfied with the submission.
Commissioner Otley Brown, I'm sorry.
I'm also satisfied.
Commissioner Sheta.
Thank you, Chair. I agree with them that obtaining approvals from US Corps engineers and agencies like DEC is very lengthy process. So I agree with them with that, and therefore I'm satisfied with the application.
Commissioner Yoon.
I was also satisfied.
Thank you.
Zoning calendar, continued hearing items, item number 18, 2022 65BZ, 2503, 2519 Coney Island Avenue, Brooklyn.
Okay. In its latest submission, applicant revised much of its documentations. It removed reference to, it clarified the information of the site, subject site being a building that is going to be for elementary and a middle school, and reference to high school was removed. EAS has been revised in response to DOT comments, and also the no action and the existing condition, all of those have been all revised. So that's what a significant change that happened there, and that was part of the delay. Based on the survey conducted, that was another thing that DOT had asked. The applicant did conduct a survey of the parents of the middle school regarding the modal choice. And based on the survey, modal choice analysis was modified. And so at this point, I would say a good part of it lies continue with the DOT completing its review. But I do have some comments. The plans would need to be revised to indicate the location of the no standing school day zone and any other DOT or school safety design recommendations that DOT may have subsequent to its completion. I'm not sure if the school safety recommendations from January 10, 2024 letter was addressed in the plan. Also on drawing sheet 104, note regarding no outdoor recreation area may be confusing since no outdoor activities is proposed in the terrace area. The note regarding no gathering only for maintenance access, that also is not clear as to which area it is applicable to. So please do clarify those notes on that drawing sheet. A letter dated January 14, 2025, we received received a letter from the opposition council representing a neighbor. The letter states that the neighbor did not receive notice of the application or any of the board hearing. I just want to, for the chronology of events, I just want to read it out. The new neighbor acquired its site in June of 2024. Per board's record, the neighbor's address is 2510 Coney Island Avenue. Did receive notification per board's rule, and the initial hearing was held in May of 2023. And BSA project manager has informed the opposition council about today's hearing, so we may hear from the opposition council today. We haven't received any written submission from the opposition council since the initial one. With regards to the environmental status, we do have a sign off on WRP, LPC. There's an E designation that is placed for hazmat. Air and noise quality also we received a sign off, and there is no noise and air quality impact that was identified by DEP. The only thing we are waiting for is DOT and school safety, and hopefully with the new submission that's been provided, we can move ahead with that. So those are my comments. Vice Chair Shibata, sorry.
No further comments.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, Commissioner Otley Brown.
I have no additional comment.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner, shut up.
Thank you, Chair. Nothing further from me.
Sorry. Commissioner Shetta.
Thank you, Chair. Nothing further from me.
Okay. Commissioner Yoon.
Thank you. I have no comments.
Okay.
Item number 19, 2023-12 BZ, 23015 Merrick Boulevard, Queens.
So we received a revised plan dated March 21st, 2025. Notes regarding ABC, shielding, canopy lights, and turning lights off or dimmed after hours. All those notes have been added. On sheet 006, the note added regarding light shield mounted to canopy, refer to detail on page 012, because the detail of the canopy is in page 12, so it would be helpful if you can just put a note to refer to that page. Bollards with chain have been added to the accessway to Francis Lewis Boulevard. Applicant has revised a statement of facts and findings, and has also incorporated conditions of DOT and additional BSA conditions. And the conditions are that applicant has agreed that the motor vehicle queuing for drive-through will not spill back onto Merrick Boulevard, including blocking the sidewalk. And if this condition fails to be met during operation of the facility, no other additional corrective measures can be reasonably be implemented by the operator, BSA in consultation with DOT and DOB, and after permitting the operator with advance written notice and opportunity to be heard, will take action to revoke approvals for drive-through windows and or the curb cut. DOT asked that to avoid potential interference with vehicles accessing parking and drive-through, deliveries and trash removal be done during off-peak and non-operational hours, and deliveries would typically happen an hour after the restaurant closes, 2 hours before the restaurant opens. I would though add that eating and drinking establishment is permitted as of right, and the delivery and the trash pickup for an as of right use would not be regulated, typically would not be regulated by DOT. However, under no circumstances shall the motor vehicle queuing be allowed to spill back onto Merrick Boulevard, including blocking the sidewalk. And because of the operational safety concerns, an appropriate signage shall be maintained advising of the same. If this so I think those are my notes. We are still waiting for a DOT conclusion on this one, but I think we are there on this. It's just even an email note should be sufficient on this one. Let's see. Vice Chair Shibata.
No further comment, Chair.
Okay. Commissioner Otley Brown.
I hope that they take the DOT stipulation under advisement as regards the cars spilling out onto the street and develop some line busting techniques that other fast food operations have in order to ensure that the drive-through traffic proceeds at a pretty steady, fast rate through the line.
Yeah, the good point.
No other comments.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Shetta.
Thank you, Chair. I have nothing further to add.
Okay. Commissioner Yoon.
Thank you. I have nothing further.
Okay, thank you.
Item number 20, 2024-25 BZ, 17 Grove Avenue, Staten Island.
Okay. Applicant made its submission in response to the comments that were raised at the last hearing. With regards to the change in hours of operation, the proposed hours of operations have changed from the initial submission. The revised proposed hours are longer during weekdays and will operate also on Sundays, which wasn't there. So the proposed hours of operations are Mondays and Wednesdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 p.m., Tuesdays, Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., Fridays, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 12:30 p.m., and Sunday, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. With regards to parking study, it has been revised to reflect the extended hours of operation. And the study also provided a breakdown of the data by staff and patient, which is what we had asked the applicant to do. And the study also provided a breakdown of different shifts, which was another information board had asked. And accordingly, there will be 4 to 5 shifts during weekdays and 1 on weekends. And analysis was provided for patients for different types of treatment, and the survey of existing facility was also used to estimate the patient and modal splits. So I have to say, this is a remarkable improvement from what the initial submission was. And based on the study with extended weekday hours, there will be an estimated 256 total appointments per day. And it is estimated that total of 18 patients will be driving to the site. And same thing with the staff, that while the facility is estimating to have 100 staff total, the peak demand would be for 65 parking. And 19 on-site parking spaces will be provided for staff. The rest would have to be accommodated in the surrounding on-street parking. And so the on-street parking supply for no build and build shows that with future no action, there will be parking available for 46 spaces. And it has been broken down by AM, midday, and PM, and also on weekends. So I think overall, everything that has been submitted in terms of the parking demand supply and for the combination of on-site and on-street, the trip generation, modal trip that would be generated can be accommodated on site. Also, with regards to the easement language, it has been clarified by the applicant, and the plans have been revised accordingly. So I am satisfied with the solution that has been
That's it.
all in all.
Thanks.
Vice Chair Shibani.
Thank you, Chair. I'm also satisfied with this application.
Commissioner Otley Brown.
I'm also satisfied.
Thank you. Commissioner Sheta.
Thank you, Chair. I believe this submission is significant improvement, like you said, from the last one. They pretty much followed what we said last hearing regarding the breakdown of the parking demands for different categories, and I believe the application is satisfactory right now to me. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Yoon.
The only comment I had is that the applicant posits that the loading zone, because of its temporary nature, can encroach onto the 4-foot easement of the neighboring property. And if that property uses that 4-foot easement as a required egress, you need to be able to exit out onto a public right of way. And so the requirement would be they would have to go on that easement until they make it to the street. I think that's for DOB to weigh in on whether or not, because in the end, you're in the open air, but
Right.
you're not it's not a straight line. If a truck is loading and say there's an emergency in the next door building, you still have plenty of room, presumably, to walk to the street, but the path may be obstructed. And I think that's for DOB to weigh in on. But I wanted to note that it was something that we flagged, and I still am not sure of the answer, but I don't think it's for us to
Yeah, I
confirm or
agree.
deny.
I agree. It's not for us. I think the document also, the language in the document stated that the 4-foot wide passageway is to be used in common with the subject lot, which, it's a legal language, and I'm assuming that means it is shared. So, and the fact that the loading is not, it's a temporary, the truck can be moved. And so,
I think I made my point. Like if it's a requirement from DOB's perspective, from a life safety perspective, they're the ones who will determine whether or
Yeah.
not that's
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Other than that, I had nothing further.
Do we need to put a note on the plan, drawing the attention of DOB plan examiner to consider this
No, I think the
important
easement,
point?
the easement language has been quoted in the plan. The easement language is there. So, if I seem to recall, I thought I saw the easement language 2024-25.
But does it say they're gonna use the easement? They may use the easement for loading and unloading?
Well, it says in common. So it doesn't specify anything. It could be anything in common. So I don't want to start getting into something that's not in our domain.
And I have no idea if it is a mandatory or required egress from that building.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I just wanted to flag it as,
Yeah, that's a good call.
because, anyway, in a statement of facts, I'm not sure that I bought it entirely, but I don't think it's for me to weigh in on officially.
Okay.
Do you want me to pull up the drawings?
Yeah, I'm looking at the drawings. It says 4-foot easement to be painted, striped, and it refers to the recorded LIBOR number. Okay,
I'm sure they put it on the CLO or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can put a condition that this should be in the CO, the reference to the easement should be in the CO.
I believe it's clear on the plan. It shows that the loading zone overlap the easement. So I believe that the note I just indicated it's not needed even because it's very clear to the plan examiner that this is their intention.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's clear. They should if they have a problem with it, they should catch it.
that was what I thought, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 21, 2024, 26BZ, 22764, 112th Road, Queens.
Just give me a second.
Mhm.
Okay. So, we did receive a revised submission. I think we received, I unfortunately did not get a chance to review the latest one. No, actually I did see it. I think there are two things happening. So the application was submitted prior to ZHO, and it was referring to zoning resolution sections of the pre-ZHO. ZHO resulted in a significant change that would affect this project. And the applicant, while the DOB objection sheet did not change, in the statement of facts and findings, it was referring to the old section and the new section and the difference between the new section and the old section and the degree of the waiver that was initially asked, how that gets reduced by the new section. However, there are certain sections that are no longer there in ZHO. For example, the density factor. Density factor is no longer in ZHO. However, what is in place is the lot area, and that has been consistent even pre-ZHO and post-ZHO. And so there are a couple of corrections that need to be made. Either use the entirety of the documents, City of Regulations, City of Yes, zoning regulations, and revise the DOB objection sheet, zoning analysis, and do not compare to ZHO, the pre-ZHO, or just stick to the old one. Pick either one. Either way, the zoning chart has incorrect zoning section numbers for dwelling units, for number of dwelling units. ZR 2320, as I said, is not there in ZHO. And the building wall height and the street wall height, like, for example, for zoning section 2363 is not there in ZHO. So those need to be corrected. Now, what is applicable is zoning resolution section ZHO, that is 2310, which was formerly zoning resolution section 23-891. And in that, it says it does not permit more than one family detached building, provided it meets 2310. And 2310 says where two or more buildings that are single or two-family detached or zero lot line residences are located on a zoning lot, the applicable minimum lot area requirements set forth in the table on this section shall be multiplied by the number of such buildings on the zoning lot. So in this case, we have a zoning lot that meets the lot area requirement.
I hate to break in because I know you're in the middle of something complicated. They did just submit something literally 4 minutes ago that addresses this, that just hit your SharePoint that basically says that they are aware that there are those inconsistencies and are working to revise it.
Okay.
They're going to refer the application back to DOB.
Okay,
And they literally have a whole section on 2310 and exactly what you're talking about. So they're aware of the
Okay.
issues.
okay.
Yeah.
Because that's the waiver that is needed. There are two existing tax lots and the tax lots have been existing. One tax lot complies, but the other tax lot does not. And what they are seeking a waiver is to allow the development on this tax lot, which does not meet the minimum lot area requirement. That's it. And the good thing is that ZHO has reduced the lot size requirement. It's shy by few, I think,
30 feet.
yeah, some very minimal amount. So I think that needs to be revised and therefore the statements of documents, all of those would need to be revised. However, I would say with that said, I do think the applicant has met the uniqueness finding. They have done, the board wanted a uniqueness study and the title of ownership. The applicant has provided that. It establishes uniqueness. And with regards to the D finding, the chart shows that the two tax lots that are located within zoning lot were in common ownership till 2023. Though the analysis did not address if the subject lot was held in common ownership with the abutting lots 105, 121, which I think should be easy and it really is not going to change the findings, I would say. And also the Sanborn map has been provided and it seems there has been no change in the lot size since 1961 and possibly prior to 1961 also, based on the Sanborn map. So I am overall satisfied with the findings and I think it meets everything, but they need to just do the basic DOB objection revision and revise their variance request. That's really what needs to be done. Other than that, I think they would meet the findings of the variance. Thank you, Commissioner Otley-Brown. You saved me from saying lot. Okay. Commissioner Vice Chair Shibata, do you have any questions or
I
comments?
have no further questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Otley-Brown.
I have no additional questions.
Okay. Commissioner Shetta,
Thank you, Chair. Nothing further.
Commissioner Yoon.
I had one question about the parking for the existing home on tax lot 119.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's a shared zoning lot, I believe that even though it's existing, they would need to address if the parking is currently served by the curb cut on the subject lot. If not, where that current house is parking and how they're planning to meet the parking requirements for these two homes on one zone.
Can you share the plan? So that I
Yes.
can refresh my,
I will share the proposed.
yeah.
So there's an existing home here and based on the photos, it seems like someone is parking on the subject lot right now,
Mhm,
which is
mhm.
primarily vacant. And the only curb cut is on the subject lot. So I had asked if the proposed moves forward, they're providing one parking spot for the proposed dwelling, but how is the parking for the existing dwelling currently met and how will it be met in the proposal?
And this is the existing curb cut.
This, I believe this is the existing curb cut. I have to check the, let me see. From what I remember, let's see. Survey. The existing curb cut is. There may not be a formal curb cut.
Okay. So I think the applicant clarified.
Yeah, you could just address that. That was the only comment I had.
Okay, all right. Thank you. I think that wraps up today's.
This concludes, sorry, this
Go ahead.
concludes the review session for May 5th, 2025. We'll resume in
10,
10 minutes. It's 11:06,
make,
10:30, 11:30.
huh? 11:30.
No, I'm sorry, 10 minutes, 11,
11:15.
11:15, sorry. 11:15, ladies and gentlemen, we shall resume with the public hearing. I rescued a girl.
Okay, we are back on.
Microphone's on?
Just ready. Yeah. Don't.
Okay, ready? Mic's on? Camera's on? My camera's not on? There we go. My camera on, there we go. Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Board of Standards and Appeals public hearing for May 5th, 2025. We'll resume with the special order calendar, continued hearing items, item number 15, 54869 BZ, volume 5, 107-10, Astoria Boulevard, Queens.
I am letting Mr. Rothkrug in to the panel. I just did
Hiram,
that.
right?
Yeah, Hiram Rothkrug.
Hiram.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Is there anyone else with you, Mr. Rothkrug?
No, only me today. Thank you, Tony.
Okay, thank you. Please raise your right hand. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony before this board and to respond honestly to board member questions?
I do. Thank you.
Please state your name for the record and proceed to respond to the board's comments at review session.
Hiram Rothkrug for Vassalotti Associates. I don't believe there were any questions or responses necessary at this time.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for the submission. Let's go to the public. Okay, any questions or comments for Mr. Rothkrug? Let's go to the public.
Ready, Jolene? Jella. Ooh, yeah. So the case that we're currently, can you put that screen up again, Joe? Oh,
Hi,
no.
sorry, please give me a moment. I dropped it and now I have to pick it up. Just give me a second, please. Sorry. Oh, no.
Okay. Are you? Okay. The case we're currently discussing is 54869 BZ, Volume 5, 107-10 Astoria Boulevard, Queens. Should you wish to discuss this case, dial 669-254-5252. At the prompt, you will enter the webinar ID number 161-854-5747 and press the pound sign. At the next prompt, you will press the pound sign only. Once you're permitted in, you will press *9 to raise your hand, *6 to unmute. And if you're in the Zoom room already, please raise your Zoom hand, which is the little hand at the bottom of your computer screen. Once you're permitted in, you will have 3 minutes in which to discuss.
I would like to ask the board if it's possible to close the hearing and even take a vote today. That would be.
We do not
As you
vote
know,
on
Mr.
cases today.
Rothkrug, we don't close and vote, but we definitely will be closing it today and we'll schedule it for a decision as early as possible.
All right. Thank you, Chair.
If no public comments, change of mind.
Yes, that is true. But I'm hoping that will not be the case.
Yep.
No reason to believe it.
No reason to believe otherwise, right? Can I get this to you, Richard? Almost done.
Motion to close?
Chair Shonda,
Aye.
Vice Chair Shabeta,
Aye.
Commissioner Otley Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Ricchetta,
Aye.
Commissioner Yoon.
Aye.
No submission is required. It will be scheduled for decision June 9th.
Terrific. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rothkrug.
New cases, I'm sorry, thank you, Mr. Rothkrug, sorry. New cases, item number 16, 2018-172 BZ, Volume 2, 4609 and 4619 31st Avenue, Queens.
Who am I looking for?
This is is this Ashley? It's Ashley, I
Ashley
think.
Dukas?
Yeah, I think this is Ashley.
Anyone else? I've just allowed Ashley Dukas to join as a panel.
Good morning, Ms. Dukas. Is there anyone else joining you?
I have others from the applicant team on the line if there's questions, but I don't know if we need to have them join right now.
Okay, so let me swear you in. Raise your right hand. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony before this board and to respond honestly to board member questions?
Yes, I do.
Please state your name for the record and proceed to respond to the board's comments at review.
Yes, good morning. Ashley Dukas from Adler and Stachtenfeld, counsel for the applicant Ali Forney Center. Sheriff Chanda ran through the case appropriately and correct this morning. And the comment regarding responding to providing a zoning analysis under the city of Yes and making sure that confirming every moot waiver and also confirming that there's nothing else that we could be missing so we don't get tripped up at DOB. So we will provide a zoning analysis of all bulk and use and confirming that it is compliant.
Right, and that can be done as, not as part of the, not as part of the extension of time. You can, I think you should talk to Mr. Costanza as to how to proceed with that, because I think this application is ready to go. We can proceed on this.
Great, perfect. That'd be excellent.
Any questions or comments? Let's go to the public.
Okay, the case that we're currently discussing is 2018-172BZ, Volume 2, 4609 and 4619 31st Avenue, Queens. Should you have any comments, dial 669 254-5252. At the prompt, you will enter the webinar ID number 161-854-5747 and press the pound sign. Once you, at the next prompt, you will press the pound sign only. Once you're permitted in, you will press *9 to raise your hand, *6 to unmute as you're calling in on the phone. And if you're in the Zoom room already, please raise your Zoom hand, which is the little hand at the bottom of your computer screen. Once you are recognized, you will have 3 minutes in which to discuss. We have to wait for the clock to run out.
I'm going to make a motion to close.
Chair Shanda,
Aye.
Vice Chair Shabeta,
Aye.
Commissioner Otley Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Sheta,
Aye.
Commissioner Yun.
Aye.
Okay.
No submission is required, and we will schedule this for the earliest hearing date, which would be May 19th.
Perfect. Thank you all.
Thank you. And please work with Mr. Costanza in with regards to the waivers.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 17, 2019 7BZ, Volume 2, 3341 Country Club Road, the Bronx.
That would be Jay Goldstein
Bonnie.
or Bonnie.
Yeah.
I don't see either.
Oh, weird. I don't see Jay.
I don't see Jay or Bonnie.
Is someone else filling in for them maybe? Anyone representing on 3341 Country Club Road? Jay Goldstein's office? Are you texting? I'm texting.
We can
Want a second call it?
second call it.
Oh, wait, someone's coming. Oh, Jay's in.
Oh. He is in?
Yeah.
Jay, yeah, I see. Yep.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry, a little bit of technical difficulties.
That's okay.
Okay. Anyone else joining you, sir?
That's me.
Raise your right hand. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony before this board and to respond honestly to board member questions?
I do.
Please state your name for the record and proceed to respond to the board's comments at review session.
Good morning, Jay Goldstein for the applicant. I do not believe there were any questions for me at the review session.
Yeah. Thank you. Let's go to the public.
So the case that we're currently discussing is 2019-7-7BZ, Volume 2, 3341 Country Club Road, the Bronx. Should you wish to comment on this case, dial 669-254-5252. At the prompt, you'll enter the Weber ID number 161-854-5747 and press the pound sign. Once you're permitted in, you'll press the pound sign, At webinar ID number 161-854-5747 and press the pound sign. At the next prompt after that, you will press the pound sign only. Once you're permitted in, you will press *9 to raise your hand, *6 to unmute if you're calling in on the phone. And if you're in the Zoom room already, please raise your Zoom hand, which is the little hand at the bottom of your computer screen. Once you are recognized, you'll have 3 minutes in which to discuss. Maybe get warm.
Okay. Motion to close.
Chair Shanda,
Aye.
Vice Chair Shabeta,
Aye.
Commissioner Otley Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Sheta,
Aye.
Commissioner Yoon.
Aye.
We will
Thanks.
schedule this for a June 9th hearing.
Can I, if at all possible, I know the board schedule is very packed, but this is an active site and they're actively working for their DOB permits. And they run into issues with blackout dates. So if at all possible to get on the next hearing, the 19th, it would be much appreciated.
5/19.
I'm sorry?
May 19th.
May 19th.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a good day. Bye.
Zoning calendar, continued hearing items. Item number 18, 2022-65BZ, 2509, 2503 to 2519 Coney Island Avenue, Brooklyn. This is Lyra Altman.
Lyra Altman, I've let her join as a
Okay,
panelist.
is there any, good morning, Miss Altman. Is there anyone with you?
It's just me.
Okay, raise your right hand.
Do we?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, do we need anybody from the opposition council? I don't know anybody from the opposition.
Is there anyone here for the opposition council? Please raise their hands. This is on Coney Island Avenue. This is the school. Anyone here for the opposition? Okay, let's start with Ms.
Okay.
Altman.
Let's start with,
Raise your right hand, sorry, Ms. Altman. You, thank you.
I'm here.
I see it. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony before this board and to respond honestly to board member questions?
Of course.
Please state your name for the record and proceed to respond to the board's comments at review session.
Good morning. Lara Altman from the Law Office of Lara J. Altman. I did attend your review session this morning and heard your comments. Just to go through them, first, DOT did request plans last week that would include the existing parking regulations as well as the proposed parking regulations. I've already received those. I will be submitting them to your board. In addition, as of this morning, I received the spreadsheets that were requested by DOT. Those will also be going to your board in that submission. With respect to the DOT letter dated January 10th of 2024, that submission was made actually February 8th of 2024, and then I reiterated some of my comments on the April 18th of 2024 submission. But before I submit this newest set, I will once again confirm that all of the requests from that January 10th letter were incorporated into the most recent set. I'm also going to have the architect clarify the comment on page 104. I believe, when I looked at the plan after your comments, I believe the comment is regarding that one note on the bottom right that says there shall be no gathering, access is only for maintenance purposes only. That should have had an arrow to the terrace. Will that solve the problem?
yeah,
Okay, so I'll have that arrow added, not a problem at all. And lastly, after your review session, I got an email from Tracy requesting a disadvantaged communities assessment be added to the EAS, and we will be glad to submit that as well.
okay, I lost the plan. Why did I lose it?
No problem. The most recent submitted set of plans, I believe, was April 18th of 24.
I just want to look at the,
Please.
yeah, okay.
So that will solve the only problem on page 104, correct?
Mhm.
Happy
Yeah,
to-
that comment was kind of floating. It was not referenced to anything. Yeah.
Not a problem.
And what was the Tracy comment?
For the EAS, she asked for a disadvantaged communities assessment to be added. And that was a request this morning, and I'm happy to have Hiram Rothford work on that.
Okay.
I already sent the request to him and asked him for a timeline.
Ms. Benke, is there any other additional?
No, that was just the standard. We're asking for all EASs to have that now. So
Mhm.
that's it.
Okay. All right, let's then, any other questions for Ms. Altman? Let's then go to the public.
Okay, the case that we're currently discussing is 2022-65BZ, 2503 Coney Island Avenue, Brooklyn. Should you wish to discuss, dial 669-254-5252. At the prompt, you'll enter the Weber ID number 161-854-5747 and press the pound sign. At the prompt after that, you'll press the pound sign only. Once you're permitted in, you'll press *9 to raise your hand, *6 to unmute as you're calling in on the phone. And if you're in the Zoom room already, please raise your Zoom hand, which is the little hand at the bottom of your computer screen. Once you are recognized, you'll have 3 minutes in which to discuss. Let me go there.
Hmm? Okay, no one raised their hand. As I mentioned at the review session, our project manager did notify the opposition counsel of today's hearing. And neither did we get any written statement, nor did the person appear before us today. So I just want to note that. We have to keep the record open, Ms. Altman, because that is one of the findings.
Of
The DOT
course, we haven't heard from DOT. I understand.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience and cooperating. The change that was made, that was critical. And it will, I hope that improves the next steps.
Me too.
Hold on.
Oh,
Did?
Ms. Bodine, did you raise your hand for this case, which is Coney Island Avenue?
No apologies, that was an accident.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you,
Thank you,
Ms.
Ms.
Altman.
Altman.
Thank you very much.
Item number 19, 2023-12 BZ, 23015 Merrick Boulevard, Queens. I think this is hers.
I think we had
And Eileen Walsh.
John Marmora last time and Gerard Jones. Are they
Eileen Walsh.
Rebecca Bodine? Ethan. Okay. I think I've let all of them in. Rebecca Bodine, Eileen Walsh, and Ethan Shukowski. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. My apologies. Rebecca Bodine is still not here. Hold on. Why is Rebecca Bodine still?
Note everyone, please put your cameras on and you're unmute, please. So they can swear you in. We can move this along. Yeah.
Okay, we here. I know I don't look like Eileen Welsh. John Marmora for the applicant from K&L Gates, Raising Cane's.
Rebecca Bodine for the civil engineer, Buller Engineering.
Okay, please raise your right hands. Is this the party?
I think I'll be the only one necessary. We do have Ethan Shukowski also, who is our traffic engineer, but we don't have any comments and accept all of the board's comments from the review session. So if you want to swear me in, I can represent that.
Okay, I have to still swear everyone in. So please raise your right hands. Okay, do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony before this board and to respond honestly to board member questions?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
please
I
state
do.
your name for the record and proceed to respond to the board's comments at review session, even if they were not.
Thank you. Yes, we did attend the review session. We do not have any comments. I don't believe there were any questions. As I said, our civil engineer and our traffic engineer are available if there are questions, but I don't believe that there were any. And we accept all of the comments and suggestions that were made this morning.
Yes, and thank you for working with DOT in responding to these comments.
Yeah, please revise the traffic study to include the build year and submit that as soon as possible.
We will,
Thank
we will
you.
certainly do that. For the record, we anticipate pulling permits in the latter part of 2025 and hope to open first quarter 2026.
Thanks.
Are there any outstanding issues, Ms. Benke, that DOT would need to complete the review?
We haven't received any other comments than the request for the build year to be in the traffic study at this time. So if we hear of anything else, we will let you know.
The submission was made before, the information was made available to DOT before, if I understand correctly.
Yes.
Okay. And these conditions that were added, these were in consultation with DOT? Regarding the spillover, what I read out during the review session.
I mean, I think some of them are from the DOT comment letter. Oh, yes, they requested those conditions regarding the spillage for this application and the deliveries.
And the additional traffic study that DOT asked for, is that more of a editorial, or is that that's a new set of information that DOT needs to complete its review?
No, I think it was just one edit to the one they've been reviewing. So
the reason I'm asking this question, if these are editorial comments, or are these leading to completion of the substantial review?
that's the only comment we've received thus far.
I believe it was just an editorial comment. So all the additional studies they requested have been provided. The last comment is they want the build year added. And that's what I just represent on the record. We anticipate first quarter 2026. So that would be the only addition we'd have to make at this point. So I would ask, if there are no public comments, of course, that the hearing be closed today.
That's what I'm working towards. Okay, any questions or comments? Let's go to the public.
Okay, the case that we're currently discussing is 2023-12BZ, 23015 Merrick Boulevard, Queens. Should you wish to comment on this application, dial 669-254-5252. At the prompt, you'll enter the webinar ID number 161-854-5747 and press the pound sign. At the next prompt, you'll press the pound sign only. Once you're permitted in, you'll press star 9 to raise your hand, star 6 to unmute as you're calling in on the phone. And if you're in the Zoom room already, please raise your Zoom hand, which is the little hand at the bottom of your computer screen. Once you're recognized, you'll have 3 minutes in which to discuss. Oh, okay. Well, we already pulled the case.
Okay, did the clock run out?
Nope. 17 seconds, 15.
I think we need to reduce the clock time.
It's 2 minutes.
Make it
1
1 and a
minute?
half. 1.5.
1.5? Okay, 1:30. Okay, I'll start that now. Okay. Allison?
Okay, thank you. Sorry for the deafening silence at our end. I think based on what I'm gathering, the comments that DOT is asking for are editorial, and DOT has already asked for some conditions to be placed, which has been indicated in the plans. So I'm comfortable in proceeding to close this application and then hopefully we will get a letter from DOT affirming that. And if there are any additional conditions that DOT wants to put in, for that reason, I want to keep the record open so that the drawings can be revised or any other necessary information that DOT wants the notes to be added can be reflected in. Is that okay with you, Mr. Marmora?
Yes, that'll be fine, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Is everybody okay with that? Okay. Motion to close?
Chair Shanda,
Aye.
Vice Chair Shabeta,
Aye.
Commissioner Otley Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Sheta,
Aye.
Commissioner Yoon.
Aye.
I would like to, I'm just looking at the calendar. Just give me a second. I want to look at the calendar.
Break it open for.
Would June 9th work? Yeah, June 9th can work. We can try June 9th. If not, we'll have June 16th as a fallback. Let's schedule it for decision for June 9th. That'll give enough time for all the back and forth, if at all needed, and the corrections, if at all needed. Yeah?
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, item number 20, 2024-25, thank you all. 2024-25 BZ, 17 Grove Avenue, Staten Island. Mr. Becker? Thank you, Mr. Mamora.
I've let Mr. Becker into the panel.
I don't see anyone else, so I'm assuming he's by himself.
Yeah, I'm assuming so too.
Ready, Mr. Becker.
There he is. Mr. Becker, is there anybody else with you?
No, just myself, Madam Chair.
Okay.
Raise your, do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony before this board and to respond honestly to board member questions?
I do.
Please state your name for the record and proceed to respond to the board's comments at review session.
Frederick A. Becker, good morning, Madam Chair, Vice Chair Commissioners. Frederick A. Becker, I did.
Oh, wait, Mr. Becker, you're.
Mr. Becker, Mr. Becker, you're,
It seemed that everything was responsive.
Mr. Becker?
Mr. Becker, your communication is freezing.
Yeah, you're, maybe.
Yes, there it is.
Yeah, we couldn't hear you because your statement was coming out choppy.
Okay, I'm in my office. I don't know why
Can't hear you now at all.
can't hear me now at all.
Now
What-
we can.
Now you can. Okay.
Can you start all over again, please?
Yes, Frederick A. Becker.
Thank you.
Morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners. I listened to your executive session and I'm here to respond to any further questions the board may have.
Any questions or comments, clarification? Let's go to the public then.
Let's see. The case we are currently discussing. Case that we're currently discussing is 2024-25 BZ, 17 Grove Avenue, Staten Island. Should you wish to comment on this case, dial 669-254-5252. At the prompt, you'll enter the WebEarn ID number 161-854-5747 and press the pound sign. At the next prompt after that, you will press the pound sign only. Once you're permitted in, you will press *9 to raise your hand and *6. Press *6 is to unmute as you're calling in on the phone. And if you're in the Zoom room already and wish to participate, please raise your Zoom hand, which is the little hand at the bottom of your computer screen. Once you are recognized, you will have 3 minutes in which to discuss.
Decision.
Okay. I can't do that. I'm not the host. So no say.
Ms. Benke, while we are waiting, do we need any other sign off or clearance on this?
Fixing my camera. We're just waiting for the final EAS. They're going to get an E designation number and make some minor. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. So we,
Some revisions. There is a minor edit to the hazmat language, so I believe that should be the final
so there's a
change.
need on this site?
Yes.
So we need to revise the plan to include that language and the EAS?
Yes, they did revise the plan. We gave them some. They'll be submitting the plan as well with the environmental notes.
Okay. No. So if everybody's okay, I want to make a recommendation because the applicant has met the findings. So I would like to close the hearing and keep the record open for the applicant to submit the final EAS and revise the site plan or any other necessary document with regards to the environmental notes. And we will schedule this for June 9th hearing. Everybody's okay with that? All right, motion to close.
Chair Shanda,
Aye.
Vice Chair Shabeta,
All right.
Commissioner Otley Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Shetta,
Aye.
Commissioner Yoon.
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you
you.
very much.
Thank you.
thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Final case, item number 21, 2024-26 BZ 227-64, 112th Road, Queens.
This would be Miss. Who? Who's Hirsch Friedman? Is Hirsch Friedman with the case that we have today, or we do have a hearing tomorrow? So if you're here for a case that is scheduled for tomorrow,
Ms. Anagnosto, is there anyone here with you today?
No.
Okay, please raise your right hand. Do you affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in your testimony before this board and to respond honestly to board member questions?
I do.
Please state your name for the record and proceed to respond to the board's comments at review session.
Andy Anagnostou, representing the applicant. I listened to the board's comments and I'd like to respond. Thank you, first of all, for being so patient with this application because the City of Yes for Housing Opportunities greatly affected the application. And so there's references to pre-ZHO and ZHO, but we will, in our next submission, clean all of that up. Also, I'd like to give an update to regarding the community board. I spoke with the district manager, Mr. McMillan, this morning, and he's informed me that a land use zoning committee meeting has been scheduled for next Monday, May 12th. We had sent the application, but apparently it's being scheduled now.
thank you for following up with the community board.
Great, and then I assume we'll have a full Community Board 13 public hearing in June, and that will be enough time to provide the recommendation to the board from the Community Board. Regarding Commissioner Yoon's comment regarding the parking. So I spoke with the owner of the subject property, and he informed me that there actually is a parking space on the adjacent lot, which has had some renovation, alteration work done. So the photographs that we provided at the time of filing were from April 2024. So we will provide the board with more recent photographs that show there is apparently a curb cut and one parking space on Cross Island Parkway, which would be adjacent to where we are proposing a new curb cut and one parking space. But we'll provide that and verify that information. If you like, I can share the screen and show the site plan.
Yeah. And so you will also revise the site plan.
Yes, we will do that. Okay. So we're talking about here. This is the proposed curb cut with one proposed parking space, since we're adding one dwelling unit, and then apparently there is one existing parking space on the adjacent property and a curb cut. We'll provide photographs showing that.
And also make sure that the distance between curb cuts are all pursuant to the zoning guidelines.
Right. I will check that.
Yeah.
So in reference to the objections that we received from the Department of Buildings, and some of them are applicable and some may not be any longer. So the front yard, under pre-ZHO, the objection was citing section 2345. Under ZHO, the applicable section is 23321. So we're a little bit short of the required front yard. We're proposing 3 feet and the requirement is 10. So we're 7 feet short. We can obtain an updated DOB denial if required to cite the current section. But regarding that, we still obviously do need the front yard waiver. Regarding objection number 2, proposed open space is less than ZR 23-141. That no longer exists. Instead, the section is maximum lot coverage, which would be section 23-361 ZR, became effective December 4th, 2024. And we comply with that. And in our submission, we calculated and showed how we're in compliance because the requirement is 80%. And we're at 32.34%. That's adding both footprints of both of the buildings, the existing building and the proposed building on the entire zoning lot.
Right, that's what I wanted to make sure because in this case, the open space is for the entire zoning, or the maximum lot coverage is for the entire zoning lot.
Yes.
And requirement, okay.
And we show that in our latest submission, and we'll also make, and I believe it's on the latest zoning analysis, but we will definitely, illustrate that. Then as far as density, 2320 ZR, maximum number of dwelling units, that section is no longer applicable. There's a section 2351, maximum number of dwelling units, but that provision does not apply to single or two-family residences. We comply. We have one dwelling unit and we're adding another. So I believe we're in compliance, but we'll double check that. Then in terms of the lot coverage, this was not an objection, but the board raised this. It was not a DOB objection. This is 2310 lot area. Minimum lot area and lot width regulations are set forth in 2311. So I just want to discuss this a little because when we looked at it in my office, it seems that this applies to the zoning lot. So 2311 says, in the districts indicated, no residences shall be permitted on a zoning lot with a total lot area or lot width less than as set forth in the table. So there are 2 tax lots, but it's 1 zoning lot. So in our interpretation, we believe we comply because the
So
total.
where, this is where the read of the text is different, and I have it confirmed from city planning.
Okay.
So 2310, the third paragraph of 2310 is what is applicable. And the difference is that in the section, before it refers to zoning lot, and then it switches to buildings. So the first 2 paragraphs are talking about the zoning lot. And the third paragraph says where 2 or more buildings, in your case, that are single family detached, are located on a zoning lot. So that means if more than 1 building is located on a zoning lot, the applicable minimum lot area required set forth in the table of this section shall be multiplied by the number of such buildings. So if you had a zoning lot where you could put where you're proposing to put, let's say, 4 buildings, individual, single family detached, I'm just taking it to an extreme. If you had zoning lot that could accommodate 4 individual single family single family buildings, per this regulation, it requires then the lot area has to be multiplied 4 times. So individual lot area for each one of these buildings has to comply with that minimum lot area requirement for this zoning district. And this language has been there even before ZHO. It's a language that was introduced when the low density growth management text was written, and it was written to ensure that in a zoning lot areas were not being divided into sizes that were not reflective of what the actual intent of these areas would look like. And oftentimes, especially in Staten Island, this really started with Staten Island, where there were L-shaped lots, and the lots were divided into 2. It was an L-shaped zoning lot, and the lots were divided into 2 lots. 2 buildings were put, but both of those individual lots were inadequate in terms of lot area. So the requirement was whenever you're building more than 1 building on a zoning lot, the area on which the building is sitting, it should meet the minimum lot area requirement of that zoning lot. So yes, you're right. The overall zoning lot does meet the overall lot area requirement. But in this case, you're providing 2 buildings on the zoning lot, which the FAR permits. And you can have 2 buildings the way the text is written, but each lot area has to meet the minimum requirement. So you do therefore need a waiver of that lot area requirement. And this language, please go back and look at pre-ZHO. This language existed, it has been applied, and that's the intent. And I have run it by Department of City Planning to make sure I'm not misreading it. And it is, you're more than welcome to follow up with City Planning to get your read. But this is what I understand and has been from a very long period of time.
Oh, I appreciate that, Madam Chair, because the way we looked at it, we multiplied, by 2, and then 2850, if you look at the total, we comply, but I understand what you're saying. Each tax lot has to be 2850.
Exactly.
Okay. Even though it's 1 zoning lot, each tax lot, it should be assumed that they're separate. So each one should be 2850. We're a little bit short on one of them. And then in terms of the lot width, what we did is, I know this site is 39.45, and then it narrows down to 24.41. We took the average, which we show here is 31.88. The minimum is 30.
You don't need to go that far. You have a frontage on Cross Island Avenue and
Yeah.
Cross Island.
That was my next, right. We also have 200 feet or 100 feet each on Cross Island.
Exactly. So the lot width, it's the lot area.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I clearly understand that. Okay.
Okay.
So we'll obtain the updated Department of Buildings denial.
Yes, yes, you do have to get, because the statement of findings has to respond to DOB's objection. So both of them need to be tied together. And since this is a lot area waiver is a new waiver that is being asked, you need to add that to the objection also and revise the rest accordingly.
Okay, we'll do that.
And I think your statement of facts, you just need to change the reference to the zoning resolution section number, just tied to what section is, and that's that. But otherwise, all the submissions that you've made meets the findings.
Thank you. We'll clean it up.
Okay. Any questions, comments?
I just want to say, this may take a while. I'm not quite sure, but since this application was filed a year ago, more than a year ago at the Department of Buildings, it may have to be reinstated. So I'm not sure how quickly we can get an updated denial. But I can verify that, and then we can update staff.
Okay.
And how we think, how long it may take.
Let's go to the public, and as the public is calling in, we can talk about it, right? Talk about it.
So the case that we're currently discussing is 2024-26BZ, well, 227-64, 112th Road, Queens. Should you wish to comment on this application, dial 669-254-5252. At the prompt, you'll enter the webinar ID number 161-854-5747 and press the pound sign. At the next prompt after that, you will press the pound sign only. Once you're permitted in, you will press *9 to raise your hand, *6 to unmute as you're calling in on the phone. And if you're in the Zoom room already, please raise your Zoom hand, which is the little hand at the bottom of your computer screen. Once you are recognized, you will have 3 minutes in which to discuss.
How long would it take for you to get the DOB objection, reinstatement, and
I would want to say, I would ask for a month. I don't want to say we can submit it in a week or two. So I would be like cautiously saying a month.
Okay.
And that will also give time to the community board to hold their hearing.
Right. And I think you should, when you do present to the community board, you should present it in the manner that we discussed now.
Yes.
And you may have to walk them through what the prior application was, and so that there's no confusion.
Okay.
Thank you. So what we can do, commissioners, if you're okay with it, let me know. My suggestion is we close it, keep the record open for the community board's vote and the revised DOB objection and the revised statement of facts. And if the plans also need to be corrected to reflect the correct zoning resolution section. And then we take a decision, either there is a June here, well, that June 16, 19 may be too long, maybe it'll be July. Then we'll schedule it for decision in July.
So you're going to give the June 16th, 17th?
No, because the community board is meeting in 12th, and if they have a full board meeting, it will be very soon. It may not be enough time. So I want, so we will schedule this for July. That will give you enough time to revise all the documents. And if community board has any questions or comments, you should respond to those comments in your submission.
Okay.
And if we need to reopen it at that time, we'll take a call based on the comments received, but that's what I'm recommending. Is everybody okay with that suggestion?
So motion to close, Chair Shanda,
Aye.
Vice Chair Shabeta,
Aye.
Commissioner Otley Brown,
Aye.
Commissioner Sheta,
Aye.
Commissioner Hume.
Aye.
Thank you.
And in you can also revise the curb cuts for the existing building and minimum distance indicate that.
Yes, understood. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Agnostu. The 4 decisions, that's for tomorrow, right? We're gonna second call them tomorrow? Okay, so, the 4 decisions that were not decided today, they will be called tomorrow on tomorrow's calendar. Along with the other cases for the 6th. So, this concludes the public hearing for May 5th, 2025. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you all very much. Oh, I forgot to make an announcement.
What?
We'll do it tomorrow.
happened? What happened?
No.